but seeing the rest of the bands rounded out as well.
Yeah, I mean, so do all the players, because Camille's most played support of the whole tournament so far too. And I feel like she's gonna get a lot of bans in the hands of very good support players, like we just saw. Can be devastating everywhere across the map. But with a lot of that focus in jungle as well, and double banning here with the Vi and Jarvan bans from G2 targeting Tian, it does leave open the Varus there for JackeyLove from the bottom side. And people have still really liked the Varus, even with all the nerfs. I feel like the balance team has tried to nerf Varus like 600 times.
They're always trying to thread this needle, like where we're like, we swear there are multiple viable builds, and always there's one that's a little bit more powerful. This time they've both been kind of nerfed, a little bit adjusted, but we'll see what the angle is here for JackeyLove or Zuian. I mean, you can still take the Varus top, although that was one of the big hits. They took down the early attack speed.
Yeah, definitely could be a flex there, but they walk into the Rumble as well. So Rumble opens up a lot of things. Rumble Yone comps are kind of my favorite combinations, but let's see where G2 decide to go with this one early on. With their double bans of the Vi and the Jarvan, does put a little bit more emphasis on jungle pool for the AD carry jungles, but they're trying to show Ashe Seraphine already. This is something that is not new in the meta at all. This was like everybody across the world just been spamming the Ashe Seraphine Rumble compositions. Lots of CC, really good team fighting. So let's see what TS want to go into it. Nautilus is always a good pick. If you think that your opponents are going to complement that Ashe with the Seraphine, you try and look for some kill pressure towards those low mobility bot lane carries.
And if this is what G2 want to round out their first set of picks with, the Seraphine, it's Fenghue's most played champion. So locking in the Nautilus here, you have to assume that he feels pretty comfortable navigating the early matchup, the early pressure that duo can put down, and can really bring it back later with these reliable engages. Ambesa picked up two. Look, I really want to see how good Zuian can be, because this is one of the picks where he has been so lane dominant. Now, there are a lot of explosive games, and there are some games where he falls short, but this is a champion that really can't style. And a great pivot.
See, this is what, like, everyone just expects you to always pair Ashe with the Seraphine to bring it in, but I love this pivot. You see the Ambesa locked in. Braum not only is going to be good into the melee matchup here versus Nautilus for bot lane, but it does make playing those other melee carries much more difficult in the team fights. I do like this pivot from G2. Bring that Braum out. Gives you a lot as far as your front line and as far as your team fighting does go here to make you a lot more tanky and rounded out.
Very, very true. An immense amount of utility coming from the bottom lane. Ashe, of course, so solid at getting active on the map or active in lane early and then using the Hawkshot for additional information. But it's not the roaming support for Labrov. It's not one of these picks that's going to get out of bot lane. Maybe a little bit more focus going to be paid to that 2v2 in the bottom side. Well, as we enter the second ban phase, both sides targeting the jungle pool, trying to limit some of the potential options or powerful pairings. Nocturne and Pantheon both hitting the bench.
And if Braum is roaming around, Xin loves Braum. So if you could get a Xin with this Braum, and especially if you're banning Trundle, Xin looks really freaking good here for G2. Xin Braum roaming around would be crazy. I don't know at TES what they really want to influence here. If they went this in, then like Lee Sin is still up for Tian.
It's sometimes really tricky against the Ashe and the Braum, though, to reliably get that option.
So they want to bend it out too. They're like, you know what? All right, Xin would be kind of crazy there with the Braum, so we're going to bend it out as well, especially since you banned out the Trundle. I do like that response from TES, also reading it.
Are we going to go for jungle here on 4? Feels like it would make the most sense, but maybe they really do. You highlighted it. SkewMond on such a rise domestically and internationally. Maybe they want to give him full information before he locks in his champion.
It's an oldie but a goodie for G. You don't seem convinced. Okay. Carry. There you go.
No, I'm convinced. I'm back in. We were like, this guy, captain, playmaker, gonna do some Maokai. Okay, those things don't line up.
But the Olaf, he was already playing Olaf, and Olaf got more damage to jungle monsters on the patch as well. So will clear even faster, and as far as pairing up with the Braum, Olaf would also greatly benefit from that extra CC. You can try and jump to him as well, help him in his endeavors in diving towards the enemy team. And if your bottom lane is a Freljord bottom lane, they bring lots of CC for you. So, all right, let's see if that Olaf does get to eat up the Varus, because Again, okay, well, TES, are they still going to go another low mobility carry here? If they go with the Cassio, which everybody has super highly prioritized, very strong on the patch, but Olaf, it's another champion that Olaf can just run straight at, and you're going to pop your ultimate. You don't even really have to do the backstep shenanigans that everybody else has to do, but we'll see if they can actually pull it off. Cassio here.
Maybe just feeling like the last remaining strong blind for the mid lane match, but immediate LeBlanc response coming in from Caps, and this is a champion that, again, for the Varus in the back line, potentially for the Naafiri, if she burns the intangible or untargetable effect a little bit too quickly, can do a lot of work in the mid game. Definitely can.
I mean, the LeBlanc, so you are playing into a Nautilus, so you have to be a little bit respectful when, you know, later on in the game you're trying to go for some of your poke plays, but I mean, it does mean your mid jungle is also pretty scary in skirmishes, because LeBlanc can set up Olaf for ganks very, very well with distortion, with the chain. So not only can SkewMond play off his bottom lane, but he could also play off his mid lane matchup there, you know, play around Caps for sure. So for TES here, all right. Honestly, I do like what G2 brought with a lot of the answers, you know, the pivot into the Braum, and then bringing the carry there for SkewMond and throwing down the LeBlanc. However, TES, they have very high priority meta champions at their disposal, especially these solo lanes with the Cassio, with the Ambesa.
That they do. Eyes on those individual players, see how they adjust coming into the international stage, and if the answers that G2 have cooked up, if the adaptations they've made to shut down some of these picks, things like the LeBlanc, the priority on the Braum, over maybe something like the Seraphine, does pay off for them as we get ready to load into game one of this best-of-5 series. Now it is double elimination, but for both of these lineups, hovering just outside the perceived top 3 of the tournament, winning here suddenly puts you back in that conversation of trophy contender. A loss here, on the other hand, kind of immediately excludes you.
Yeah, I mean, it's so early in the main stage. We're just day one of the main stage, and yet already, like you're saying, you are playing one of the teams that's basically been power ranked right next to you at this tournament. And so it feels like there's a lot of weight behind this matchup here. And let's see how it does go early on. Does get the Noxious Blast to hit this time around here for Creme, so that's quite nice for him. Gets another Noxious Blast to hit here, so good little trades already here. Third one, Draco.
He's hitting a lot of them.
Every single one. That's some good trading.
And I think it's important when you look at the history of these two teams playing against each other. Creme improving individually is a big part of why TES were able to triumph last year. Because remember, he was kind of the AD mids guy, implemented mages a lot last year, and we finally saw that come to fruition in that series versus G2 especially. And now he really is a jack of all trades, but a guy who's honestly pretty much just locked in on playing meta picks as opposed to the Tristanas and Yones of old.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I actually love players that have like smaller champion pools and play a very specific style more, but it is beneficial. Now Creme is assimilated into playing all the control mages and all the meta stuff now. He probably in this in this best of 5, there's a decent chance that he still pulls out the Akali or the Yone or something. But
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, sure. He has fully assimilated into all the primary picks.
Another player who is no stranger to the pick that they're picking up at the very least is JackeyLove. 83-30, most played champion. So might be nerfed to the meta, but it's looking pretty good thus far as we see a quick initial trade. Already getting the flash out of Hansama, a nice look for TES.
And Drakos, this is with the TES having their jungle pathing bottom lane. So that's a very good trade of summoner spells there. Nothing left on Hansama now. No cleanse, no flash. They go for another hook, but will be blocked up there by Labrov, but again, the Naafiri is pathing down to the bottom side.
Hansama in trouble. Getting too low here. The Braum needs a bit of time early on, right? The concussive blows. Unbreakable does a bit of work, but got to respect the Naafiri for now, though. Tian still focused on just keeping up in terms of jungle clear.
Oh, Cap's going to be able to pull the wave a little bit here. As Creme's going back for his purchase, will teleport right back out to lane. And he's going to teleport closer to the crab to ensure Tian guaranteed gets this. His bot lane had push. Teleport from his mid lane right back out too. But it does mean Caps, look at a lot of minions are dying there in mid lane straight into the front of this turret now. So Creme's going to arrive now, but Caps should be able to pick up a few more CS and continue to increase that CS lead a little bit.
And one thing we're going to have to keep our eyes on is if bottom lane remains so heavily in favor of TES in terms of push priority, because we both know how important that can be for the jungle matchup. But hold that thought. SkewMond moving in with the ethereal chains missing. Creme, clean movement to deny this. Going back in for a bit of extra poke. Keeping it going. Keep in mind, Fengyue is over the wall. Cap's going for a little bit of a longer trade. Now he's going to dash back, but he's grounded. A solo kill. Caps didn't need to go back in. Maybe wanted to save the wave, and Creme grabbing first blood.
I mean, Creme is 1v2, both of them. He's made SkewMond run all the way for the hills too. Fengyue and Tian are on the way. And you saw in the minimap, them walking up, following the path of SkewMond before. That's why Creme had so much confidence. He's like, okay, fine, Tian. Can't get it.
All right. One of the things that's so irritating about the Naafiri, right? She just can get out of so many counter jungle scenarios. There's no real opportunity for G2 to punish.
Yeah. Little the little dog children are gonna block skill shots for you. You got plenty of mobility.
Puppies, maybe? the dog?
Dog children.
Dog children.
Dog
children. Yes, the dog children. Yes, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
So many friends that have pets and they're like, no, my dog is my child.
That is actually apt. That is apt.
But here, look at the mini map. You know, Cap's over to the other side and he goes straight back, and Creme is already in position. Creme was already positioning like, yeah. You're going to try and go back to your tower? No, sir. I'm just going to lay down the miasma right here. And so Caps can't flash. Really well done by Creme. He fought off the Olaf, and then he able to go aggressively position towards Caps' tower. Topside.
Broken Blade, dropping the equalizer. Public execution does connect on a SkewMond. Zuian just out of there. He's able to retreat. Tian waiting over the wall as well. G2 not able to get more out of that play. Do get the flash, but it's traded 1-for-1. Zuian still able to walk back into lane and pick up the wave. And Kobe, it's looking a little rough here. That's the first big play. The second big play, it feels like G2 have gone for, and both times they haven't been able to convert it into a greater advantage. Yeah,
I mean, it's one of those, you know, priority meta champions we're highlighting here for Creme. And him playing so well on it. He was very confident. His movement all leading up to that play too. Dodging a lot of skill shots. So good play from him starting out is definitely does bode well for TS, but it's still very early in the game. A lot left to be played. So is just going to mean that the Cassio is on good footing. And you're going to be able to play around a very consistent and reliable AP kind of machine gun source of good DPS. And sometimes that can be very problematic for an Olaf. If you get behind the race for how much offensive pressure you can put out versus how much offensive pressure the people you're trying to run down can put out, if they can just burn you down while you're trying to run in, it completely changes the look of the champion. So we'll keep track of that, but definitely not going to fully divert the course of this game just quite yet.
No, definitely not. Of course, JackeyLove, though, is opting to go for lethality Varus, so we'll try to poke, maybe hoping to get a little bit of control of mid lane later when he does rotate up. And it is going to be annoying for the side of G2 to deal with. It might force that all-in commitment a little bit sooner than they'd like for fear of just getting poked down. But Creme, this is such a nice spot to be in as the Cassio. You have the Catalyst, you're stacking the tier, you're so tanky, you're so hard to force out of this lane.
And look at this, continual play from Tian and Fengyue around mid lane. Constantly, whenever you get your support reset, immediately go mid, link up with jungle again. If you constantly back up Creme,
good sidestep.
Then he can do this.
It's a good call. And Caps, just lucky we're not a minute later in the game, and that's a level 6 Nautilus, or it would have been a dead LeBlanc.
100% agree. And if you constantly have vision around you with these control wards and clearing out the G2 vision, it allows the Cassio to just stand and fight her grounds. LeBlanc's going to try and intimidate you, right? Yeah. Scary, I'm distortioning in, going for a trade. But if you can stand and fight your ground and he's hitting all of his Noxious Blast, then you can get really good trades, and your miasma is so good at punishing the LeBlanc when she's trying to exit. As long as you have the security, and look at that, they put double control wards. This is the vision that we're talking about around mid lane to make sure Creme can continue to play so aggressively. Yeah, he even gets the one up around Raptors as well. So this Cassio can definitely stand and fight whenever the LeBlanc even tries to trade.
And Creme really building so much this initial advantage himself when Caps kind of overstepped on that first trade. But the good news for TES is all that investment around mid lane hasn't come at the cost of losing somewhere else on the map. Bot lane still trading relatively even. It's a push back and forth in terms of prio. A similar story topside. So it's not like G2 has their own really strong lane to play around to balance out what is Creme very steadily ramping up this gold lead in mid.
Yeah, so in that case, when you don't, then you say you go for trades.
Yep.
They're like, okay, you guys are going top side for grubs. Let's go bottom side for the dragon here. Caps is going to get one of those control wards around mid down. That's going to be very beneficial for his continued trades. And they're going to take the dragon. It is going to mean Tian helps with the top side. They interrupt the recall here. Broken Blade does cancel his for now. Does Zuian also check the brush? Yes, sir.
He knows. Obviously, you've got decent information. A ward was dropped over the wall as SkewMond was starting the dragon, so you feel pretty confident that Broken Blade is on the weak side and is not going to have any support.
Yeah, and he has no teleport either, so that extra minion wave, those two interrupted recalls mean more minions dying to the tower up there as bot side.
Not able to get anything else. Hansama stepping forward with his focus. JackeyLove just continuing to poke, and SkewMond is in the area, might be going for the 3v3. Nice ulti from LeBlanc to look for the disengage. Fengyue now caught out, should just get cut down. Ulti still going, connecting onto JackeyLove. SkewMond grabbing the double.
That is an overreach from TES for sure, man. They had just seen, G2 trying to make their play and they're kiting back. And then Fengyue tries to force so heavily, again, into the Freljord bottom lane. They can punish with so much CC. Nice turn from G2, and they get not one, but 2 kills into SkewMond's Olaf, which they want to carry this comp. Oh, he's still here, so he walks right back around. Really good ult there from Labrov. Locks them up. They immediately use the passive stun as well to make sure that one hits. And then they nail Jackie. And Jackie doesn't use his flash, so.
Doesn't use flash, doesn't have cleanse. Well, he has the TP to be more active on the map. That is the price. When the play starts to turn bad, there's really no way to escape, and it's the strength of the Braum you highlighted in draft, right? If you pick a bad fighter, it starts to go wrong. That concussive blows, that Braum passive, just makes it feel impossible to escape, on top of the fact that you have an Ashe slowing you down.
Yeah, especially with the level 6 there for Labrov. Really nice for him. Boom, hits the ult while he's getting hooked in. Then they immediately get the follow-up stun. That just looked so easy there to turn from G2. And let's see. I mean, that just slingshot SkewMond. All of a sudden, you're feeling a little worried there, Drakos, but he got so accelerated. He one-shot, he insta-bought his Hex Tech right after that experimental Hex Plate. And that is the go button. Now you are supremely turbo as soon as you pop your ultimate. So we'll see what the Olaf can do from here.
Definitely an excellent position to be in. We talked about it before, but the Olaf, when he's ahead of the curve, can ignore so much of the front line, walk past, get right on top of players like JackeyLove or Creme. Of course, Creme has a nice little lead of his own, but this is a good position for G2, getting one of the most volatile matchups they have, or members they have active on the map, is an exhaust, an arrow, a flash from JackeyLove, holding it in the previous play. Does trade his ulti for ulti on top of the flash and exhaust from Labrov from the Summoner's Spellbook.
See, people can change, He learned from the previous way. Like, not going to flash the other one, I'll flash this one. So he does live for now. SkewMond's still staying in the bottom area. Tian deciding he's going to go on the top side and sit up there, but not able to accomplish very much. And now that the Varus has no flash, okay, now.
Tian, double daggers connecting, ulti there, additional AD, just zoning Broken Blade away. Broken Blade without the flash, pretty devastating, especially as Zuian has his ulti up and available. So once again, forced away. Again, denied another wave. And look at that top lane CS difference, just starting to become astronomical.
Yeah, very true. Rumble going to be fairly far behind. We saw earlier how Zuian and Tian interrupted 2 recalls from Broken Blade. He lost extra CS because of that, trying to get back. And now no flash on him. However, if you are looking at the other side of the map, not only did they get Jackie's flash, look at those wards. They also were able to leave behind 3 wards through the red quadrant of TES's jungle, and that is going to help G2 in setting up for the next consecutive dragons here. 1 minute on that next dragon. They can have a very clear game plan of trying to stack these dragons with their Ashe Braum on bottom side and SkewMond being in a very comfortable position in the game. they can look to focus away from Broken Blade and just say, I'm sorry, buddy. Your pain will probably continue. We're going to stack dragons.
Just hold on. Just survive. We can if
maybe
we set
Rumble
up on
ult some waves.
There you go.
Ult some waves and...
It's called the equalizer because it helps you get the CS back, not because it, you know, not doing anything else right now, and that's just going to be okay.
Well, we'll see if Zuian ends up teleporting to the dragon fight and ends up being a determining factor there. Then it could be fairly problematic, but we'll see how this next one actually does go down because it's only 18 seconds, and a lot of teams too, dragon number 2 is not where they really draw their line in the sand.
Very true.
So there's not a super amount of pressure on TES. Dragon number 3 is usually where you really do hard focus it. And since Tian's already seen on a ward walking topside,
Caps trying to clear this wave was sent topside because he has access to the teleport, but is it going to cost him his life? Public execution flashed away from Arrow going a little bit wide. That's the fake one! That's the clone! He gets tricky, but it just doesn't matter. They cover their bases. TES with a flawless dive.
Yeah, there's 25 more gold over there, buddy. Like, get them both! They do get them both. They make the dive on top side. TS make the call. Yeah, second dragon, we don't care about that one either. We're going to get more and more and more and more gold on Zuian. Ambesa here, who... He is technically not a rookie because he did play, like 9 games for IG in Tier 1. However, he hasn't played international games at Riot Internationals and is so young. I've been incredibly impressed with, his potential. He really does play to carry games, to be a win condition. And, with 369 stepping down and stepping away, it really was big shoes to fill. And so they're putting a lot of focus and a lot of faith in him. On the international stage, this is something that people were citing when they're looking at this brand of TES, bringing 2 very young players with both him and Fengyue onto the international stage, and he is the one with the large gold lead. Of course, Creme did really well for himself early on too.
But when we look at the coin-based gold grind, we can see the tower plates very heavily in Zuian's favor, as well as the kills, making up that 1,000 gold difference. A little bit extra there in terms of CS as well. So sitting pretty comfortable in this game, punishing G2 for trying to get a little bit creative on their lane assignments with lack of access to that TP from Broken Blade. But G2 still trying to show a bit of force here as they push out the mid lane, commit SkewMond to the area. Remember, he is kind of the one big strong point for the team, as Broken Blade using the equalizer as predicted, just to keep waves a bit cleared out.
Meanwhile, G2, a little dangerous there. They do pull the Rift Herald, but decide to back off as it is soft contested. And remember, the teleport is still available for Zuian. Nice dodge from Jackie.
Forward from Labrov, looking to lock up JackeyLove. Rue not going to connect. Now Tian's debating if he can follow up.
Good hold from on his flash this time around from Jackie. Nice little dodge from him. Does have the Ghost Blade, does have the Boots of Swiftness, so he becomes pretty hard to hit once you get all that extra move speed for the Varus, and it allows you to save your summoner spells for key fights. Again, usually it's dragon number 3, where the team that opted for topside play and opted for gold is going to come to break your dragon stacking, and that's what we kind of expect from TES.
TES.
Oh, they're wrapping around.
To grab the Herald, lock up onto Caps. Nothing he can do to dodge this one. Follow-up hook is there. Creme going to look to lay down the miasma just in time. Caps walking out all deep, but he's still taking dash back for the last. Twin Fang will drop him down where he stands. SkewMond forced to respond, and G2 in shambles.
So nicely done here. Fengyue, point and click on the LeBlanc with the ulti. Follow it up with the CC combo right into the miasma again from Creme. And he fires off the ulti with the AoE, even though you're going into LeBlanc passive with the clone. Enough damage to finish it off, just really nicely layered there. And TES have just picked apart this LeBlanc pick. The end of the draft there, Drakos, that they tried to go with. And Creme, I mean, he almost has as much of a gold lead individually as Zuian does. So Cassio is going to be a turbo carry to play around for TES. And this bodes very well for their Dragon number 3 fight.
Definitely does. Solo lanes really taking over here. Well set up both by Fengyue and Tian in so many of those key moments, early plays, that topside gank, making sure that Broken Blade or Caps even, when he did show his face in the topside, could not play the game, could not sit comfortably, and it's absolutely paying off. 2,500 gold lead across the team.
Yeah, 100% agree. They've really been in the right place at the right time. each of these Tian and Fengyue roams, the first one around mid, even though they didn't get to hit Caps, because they're there, it cut off the other area for escape for Caps and allowed Creme to do what he did. Now Caps is...
Oh, Caps locked up, public execution about to get cut down to solo bolo!
Okay, Drakos. I'm starting to feel sorry for you now. Caps is just getting obliterated! This LeBlanc! It's not even a like, now you see me, now you don't type of mage. It's like, you never even saw.
Yeah, you never saw. There's no one showing up for this particular magic show. This is not a very popular magician. 0-4-0, arrow going wide. SkewMond waiting around, but it feels like G2 are grasping at straws a bit, just trying to do what they can with this Ashe arrow to force some kind of play. Yeah. And keep in mind, Zuian is still in the top lane, still pushing, threatening plates. G2 trying to force advantage, but Creme just walks forward. SkewMond forced to retreat. Nice stand behind me to the minion from Labrov to get away from the Varus ulti.
I mean, that Herald is just going to take out mid. They get the dragon. This is just straight objectives by the book, Drakos. Going to be able to get your mid lane priority, get your dragon, put a stop to their stacking. 3,500 gold lead for TES. Extremely fed solo lane carries. Now G2 trying to make something happen though.
Get something, hoping to catch out Creme. Ulti from Labrov catches out Fengyue, who's immediately going to hook out. Paired with the equalizer, but not really getting much.
Yeah, I mean, they get one flash off the Cassio. Fengyue also had the flash, I guess, so that's two plus the heal. So you do get a little bit as far as summoner spells with the teleport also being used.
Level 15. Might be able to 2v1. 6 seconds until his ulti's available.
Olaf's coming too, though.
Started. Don't think he can 3v1. Getting burned down. Ulti going to turn back. Big damage coming in. Labrov with the locket. Flash away. Back into enemy tower. Will still get the 1-for-1.
Yeah, Zuian barely gets it there. Does get the support kill for himself at the very least. 3 members invested from G2 to the bottom lane, but Jackie's pushing mid. Broken Blade will at least finish up the rest of this tower. Does he get caught though, trying to escape? There's a control ward in the second brush, so he's teleporting.
Yeah.
He's out.
Manages to get away. G2 at least getting something. A bit of gold back here as Labrov did his best to survive. Very close to making it away. Hansama matched up against JackeyLove. A bit frustrating for him as the Varus poke is just so hard to manage, so hard to deal with. And you can see the solo laners just wildly far behind. 2-level discrepancy between Creme and Caps. And here, Zuian maybe overconfident, but you could see why.
Yeah, and it was just Labrov waiting there up on the Fog of War on that little corner of the wall so that Zuian could not see. Nice ult from Zuian though to the other side. And then since Labrov had put up his Unbreakable to the other direction, he had barely gotten enough on the other side. And G2's like, okay,
we'll take it.
He did get one counter kill, but at least we got our shutdown. We got our kill on the Ambesa, so that was necessary.
Broken Blade walking in here. JackeyLove marked by the equalizer. But that's it. There's no immediate follow-up.
Yeah, with his Boots of Swiftness and again a Ghost Blade active, he is able to walk it out. He does. Let's see about this though. They actually are just getting mid priority for this. So I mean, yeah, you got a little bit of damage done, but that is a whole tower gone in mid lane.
And G2, dizzy. Remember, coming into this series, these teams across almost every single tier list were adjacent. But in this game, it has really been TES a step just about ahead a step just about every single minute of the game.
And to me, it is a lot about how TES, they did not flinch. They read G2's creativeness and they're like, okay, fine. You want to get, fancy and pick a LeBlanc? Then we're going to have Tian and Fengyue be roaming towards around mid, keep the vision around mid. Creme, very confident play, had been able to dodge a lot and outplay a lot in the early stages. And having him be such like an anchor for this TS team, and then being very confident in their play, playing into this G2 setup that they've got here, has really rewarded them. But let's see about this time around, because G2 are chipping. They're cutting down on that gold lead, okay? So they've cut down a couple areas, and now being able to split push, Caps should finish off the top tower. They've got controllers here, leading up to the Baron. Vision control does look good for them.
That it does. JackeyLove trying to land a bit of poke here. TES fight to regain some control around the pit. And poked, but generally unfazed. Pretty confident with his team's positioning around this objective. Cap's going to be spotted on vision as well. Root does land. SkewMond ready to go over the wall. Tian already burning his defensive cooldowns, but just a bit of poke, and unfortunately Caps gets poked more.
And all this time, again, more split pushing. Fengyue, more and more. This Ambesa is actually just going to 1v9, I feel like. I mean, yeah, it's pretty easy to get that feeling when you see this giant gold on the champion. Yeah. And ever since this champion was released, I think it only makes highlight reels of like 1v9ing people.
And the unfortunate reality is, I had the absolute, well, displeasure of rewatching TES smash G2 last year. And let me tell you, the nameplate was different in the top lane. It was 369. But I've seen this game before, Kobe. LPL Ambesa trampling over the LEC first seed. Now, the difference, I think, is SkewMond can be this late game insurance, right? We've seen it from Doran when he plays this pick top lane. If you get to 3 items, if the enemy team mispositions once, that's really all it takes for Olaf to just tear through the enemy lineup. But thus far, TES have been so diligent on always trading even, or more consistently trading up, getting that extra tower, having Ambesa on a side lane. So it's hard to see a path where TES are going to make that mistake, are going to fumble a bit and give away for SkewMond to play a fight.
And Jackie has Spell Shield on top of all this move speed that we keep on highlighting for him here for the Varus too. And if you're full sending over there, wait a second, they're going to teleport in. We're going to start this pretty early.
5v5. Arrow connects in the brush. TES don't have vision, but the comet enough to tell them they have to be careful.
Okay. How big of a factor will this Braum be in the team fight? How much can Labrov lock up?
That's a good question. Stepping very far forward, keeping our eyes on Zuian. Most fed member of the team alongside Creme. Public execution, crucial. Objective getting lower and lower. Labrov locked up. Ulti combo is good. JackeyLove now in trouble as SkewMond starts to tear through the back line. Immediate fall coming from Caps. Zuian a little bit dizzy. Caught in the midst of 3 members of G2, but manages to find an initial way out. SkewMond living for far too long. Labrov going forward. Multiple members locked up. Broken Blade wants revenge for the laning phase, but Zuian refuses to fall. The Dragon dropped in favor of TES, but the fight goes to G2.
Oh, it's so close here too in the aftermath. 2 for 1 on kills, and we did kind of see the clash between the Olaf dive and the DPS of the Cassio. Here it is. They start out on the Braum really early. Rumble ultimate plus Ashe arrow plus Braum ultimate, all on JackeyLove, and the Olaf immediately runs turbo form. So him and Caps do burst it, and then SkewMond also uses his flash, but then as Tian comes to help add the extra DPS, and you see that Cassiopeia ultimate stunning Caps as LeBlanc tried to come in to again help out with the dive from Olaf. Creme saw him out of the corner of his eye. He hits the Cassio ult. He stops the LeBlanc damage, and they had enough themselves to take down the Olaf. So G2 do get +1 on kills, but as you said, a Mountain Dragon, another Mountain Dragon here for TES acquired.
Still holding on to that gold lead. And I think that fight could have been a lot worse for G2. It looked like to me Fengyue did ult SkewMond on accident when he and Caps were stacked on top of each other, or it might have been Zuian finishing off the LeBlanc before he would inevitably be able to go back in and get a bit more damage down. It's not easy for G2 to find these fights, to find these angles. They found one, but unfortunately because they don't win the 50-50, they can't really guarantee that TES are forced to show up to the next Drake, to give them a fight on their terms, let alone survive the next 3 minutes here as TES with this Cassio can obliterate Baron if they're ever left unattended, and Zuian still with the TP available can just keep pushing bot lane if they want to go for the attempt.
Yeah, Zuian 17 now, and in the side lanes will constantly be having this pressure versus Broken Blade. However, still gonna see the split push top from Caps and gonna allow them the extra side wave there. Little bit of vision from him around the Baron from the top side to allow an area to approach for G2. That is incredibly important because face checking towards the Nautilus is fairly difficult. They need Labrov in order to do that, in order to retake the vision. And here he comes. Nice little position there. SkewMond waits for the extra safety so Labrov has someone to jump to when they're trying to check that vision.
Yeah, Hawkshot. Such a nice tool, nice bit of utility to have, especially if Labrov has to be careful of walking face first in, as you highlighted. But again, just credit to Zuian. We've been singing his praises all game, but remind, this is his first international stage game. This is his first big tournament, right? And I think that ultimately, having this kind of performance in your first game is literally the best thing you could possibly hope for. A dream debut, I think it's safe to say.
Well, we'll see about that if he can carry the next team fight, because everybody's going to be looking at you.
True.
Hey, you're super fed Ambesa. can you actually carry a team fight for us? He does have the side lane priority, and that is still looking good. Extra money here. Yep. 2 turret plates knocked off.
Big chunks out of Broken Blade's health bar. The Eclipse shield enough to stop any follow-up. He's just going to go for the dive. SkewMond's on the way, but he might be a little bit too late. Zuian, nice backstep, dashing out with the rebuttal. TP away, knowing that they have no CC, but so damn close to going down.
Okay, so he trades his teleport for the flash of Broken Blade by going in for that play. Now his team also, they were kind of pushing up mid instead. Didn't really get to retake the vision around Baron. I was thinking maybe they would go take care of those control wards that G2 did leave behind. But
I think he might have made that call on his own. That didn't feel like a more concerted TES wide effort, which you respected. I mean, if he was on his lonesome, Broken Blade didn't have flash, probably would have been able to find the kill. Losing the TP is a bit rough, though. It doesn't mean he can just push for free on a side lane, as Broken Blade does have a TP, will be able to join the fight that much easier.
Ooh, and Death's Dance does a lot for the Olaf survivability, as Labrov takes a little bit of chip damage, but teleport arrival.
TP in. But now it's going to be Broken Blade dropping down in the meantime. Cap's trying to step forward and poke, but Broken Blade just isolated, no flash. His TP just not doing anything in that exchange.
Yeah, I mean, that was the TP arrival I was looking at, and that TP sucked. He had a welcoming party, welcome him to Fountain again. Now they're going to be able to push on bot side. I mean, that opens up the map completely, Drakos.
And so much of what we wanted to set up, talking about the next Drake fight, just falls through based on the side lane discrepancy here. Again, the initial play, burning the flash in exchange for a TP. The second play, getting a TP for free on top of the kill. Now a tower to follow. So G2 realistically can do nothing to stop this Drake. They're not even going to be able to get in range to try for a 50-50.
I kind of want to even do a replay of the pan the camera over to see what the wait a second.
Okay.
What the choice was there, because that just cost them so much. Dragon number 3, the whole bottom side rest of the tower. It really does make the map a lot more difficult to play.
G2 holding on to what little Baron control they can, but you're completely right. Hansama still just trying to push midway back to an even state. Looks like team might be giving him some Raptors just to help him get closer to that Infinity Edge.
It is also props to TS, because they were diligent in keeping up their vision through this blue quadrant of the jungle. They had kept this jungle warded, for several minutes straight, being able to play off of, push hard on that, long lane down there, keep the vision under their control, and they're rewarded in the end. Attention to detail, really paying off, and now we've got some dangerous moments here for G2, but they're going to look to get a little aggressive.
Just poking, threatening, want to force their way in. Platform Labrov, immediate exhaust coming in, but JackeyLove with a casual sidestep as Caps tries to commit as well. Arrow connects onto JackeyLove. Tian waiting in the backside. Labrov already down. Zuian hasn't even arrived to the fight. SkewMond wants to make a difference. He'll get through Jackie, but I don't know if it's enough to keep him alive. In the midst of 4, he will finally fall. G2 desperate. The ulti from Tian is there. Hansama with nowhere left to run. TES poised to take the Baron.
Oh, swing and a miss from G2. Wait, Fengyue into the wall.
Oh, he just reads him. Sees the snapback coming, picks him off. My God.
Zuian able to find the Magician once again, takes down Caps as TES take down the Baron.
Incredibly dominant performance from TES. It feels like they've had G2's number from minute 1. The top lane advantages, the mid lane advantages. Tian and Fengyue absolutely everywhere on the map. The only person suffering anywhere on this lineup is JackeyLove. And when he sees how far ahead his team is, I don't think he minds.
And it is so impressive from this team. We talked about it earlier, but 369 stepping back, Zuian coming in with big shoes to fill. And he has been aggressive all the way. Labrov, he's messing around in the wrong side of town. That's not your jungle anymore, buddy.
They're already coming out. Sidesteps one of the double daggers, but Zuian there to finish the kill. And that's pretty devastating. 37 seconds on the Braum. Only going to make that Red Bull Baron power play that much more devastating, but it starts wrong for G2 and it does not get better.
Labrov went for the swing and the miss, but then they still had to go for the play anyway. So SkewMond says, fine, I'm going to make the best of a bad situation. He goes in, he still is able to delete JackeyLove, but the rest of TS team can just turn all their damage on him. Best CC, of course, ending in death. And then here, Caps tries to get a little something back for the play to pick on the Nautilus. And yeah, he could dodge the Nautilus hook, but he's not dodging. Zuian knows you're popping right back over that wall. Nice job from him He knows where that distortion came from.
He knows where you're forced to go back to, and at this point, G2 forced back to their base as TES breaking open mid lane. Creme and Tian for now uncontested. G2 on the ropes here in game 1. But an arrow forces a flash from Creme. Will at least allow them to defend their mid lane inhibitor for now. Labrov continuing to step up. Knows that some risks are needed if they're going to come back in this one. Cap's really playing with fire here. Tian does a lot of damage at 3 items.
Yeah, a lot of these TS members are looking very scary. So G2, what can they do? At these moments, you kind of just have to full send one lane. Choose one lane and just go. I mean, Zuian does have a Guardian Angel, but...
Ulti, hoping that they can proc the GA, but the rest of TES now trying to cover. Ulti down onto Caps, they spot him, recalling onto the distortion. Immediate fall now coming from Creme. Miasma laid down. Zuian still alive, still on a rampage, still tearing through all of G2 as Caps tries desperately to hold the line, but it is not enough in the face of TES. 10,000 gold in the lead, 16 kills to 8. Caps can dance, dip, duck, dive, dodge all he wants, but he's dead just as the rest of his team is. TES first blood in this series against G2.
Woo, taking care of business here. TES and Zuian, welcome to the international stage here. Ooh, all right, tournament in the first game, looking good.
Looking unstoppable. G2 sent back to the drawing board. That's enough from us, though. Let's see what the analyst desk is thinking in a moment, because I feel like they're going to be talking about that top lane. They're going to be talking about a rookie who just embarrassed our entire region. Am I right, analyst desk? Is that what we're talking about? Maybe a little top lane?
He's right. I think he's right. Azale?